guys, it's SJ and this is Baby Name Monday. Welcome around to my kitchen. Today I'm going to share with you the most popular boy names at the moment on Pinterest. So these are the boy names that are getting most pins and most engagement on my Pinterest account, which has over 1 million clicks, impressions, 1 million visits, I don't know what the lingo is, a month. So there's loads and loads of people over there looking for names, and so it's kind of like real time. What boy names are people who are into Pinterest, who are into trends, who are into design, who are into sort of aesthetic names, people from all over the world as well. This isn't a UK only list, it's really international over on Pinterest. What are they pinning for their boys? So I'm going to share with you the list. I've got the top 11 and I'm also going to share with you the top themes as well. So what are the most popular themes, because a lot of my videos, as you'll know if you're a long time watcher, are always done by theme. So like whether it's vintage or whether it's arty names or whether it's long names or something like that, so people can kind of really get a bit more involved in picking a baby name, because it is really hard and we don't just want to go A to Z. That's history. If you are brand new, you have found a lovely baby name community here. Maybe you didn't know it existed. We are matching mums to be with name enthusiasts, so down below there's always a place to ask us for ideas. There's loads of people here who love names, and if you are naming a baby, congrats. You can find the podcast where we do baby name dilemmas every single week, as well as Pinterest, and you can ask us anything at Baby Name Envy, the Instagram. If you DM us if you've got a dilemma or a this name or that name, that's where we are every single day, just answering dilemmas, because baby names is where it's at, obviously. So let me get on with the most pinned boy names on Pinterest. Number 11 is actually one of the most popularly rising boy names in the UK for the last couple of years, and it's the name Hunter. So Hunter really fits into this kind of wild wilderness trend that we have, and even though a hunter is quite a predatory thing, it also does fit into a kind of outdoorsy lifestyle that kind of plant-based people like, which I find really strange. I'm like vegetarian all my life and I always thought I love the name Hunter, but I just could never get past using it for that. It's got the surname as a first name vibe to it as well, so I absolutely love it. It's really trending at the moment, but it could be a little fast fashion. It might be one of those that comes in and goes straight out again, which isn't to say that's a bad thing. You know, we all had an Arlo a few years ago. I've got a Finn, which was a fast fashion name as well, but it's trendy and it's getting pinned a lot over on Pinterest. And number 10 is the name Atlas. So if you heard this name for a few years ago, it would have been totally unique and obscure, and I'm sure all the parents of little Atlases who are like 5 are fuming that now it's become a little bit more popular, a little bit more mainstream. I think that nowadays, with us being limited with travel, I see Atlas being really popular, and it's just become more wearable. We are getting a lot braver with our names, and it does feel quite boyish, Atlas as well. So it's really popular, it's rising through the charts. So if you do name your baby Atlas now, chances are they won't be their only Atlas in their class, which is kind of crazy. And number 9 is the name Wren. So Wren with a W is the songbird, and that's become really popular for both boy and girl, and I absolutely love it. But Wren spelt like this was getting a lot of traffic over on the old Pinterest, and it means lotus flower. So I always think when we put the meaning up as well, sometimes people are really into the meanings, and that might be why Wren is getting so pinned, because it's a little bit different. And if Wren has been pinched, which has been really popular, then this could be an option for you, especially for a middle spot. A 1-syllable name is always great in the middle for a more traditional long name. So you could be like a Sebastian Wren, for instance. That's quite nice. Ezra is at number 8. There's so many Ezras in the world, which I'm happy about because I absolutely love it. It's basically the new Noah. Noah is right up there in the charts in the UK, and Ezra is the new Hebrew name on the block. It means helper, which I also think really appeals to modern parents as well, that really lovely meaning in this world that we're living in right now. So I think Ezra's around for a while, considering how many pins it is still getting over on Pinterest. And number 7, a really unusual name, kind of similar, you'll see, is the name Lennon. But spelt like this is a traditional Gaelic name meaning sweetheart, which is so nice. And again, I think that that's why it's getting a lot of love over on Pinterest. It would always be confused with Lennon, like the surname, but Lennon with the A, meaning sweetheart. It's just a really nice name meaning, and I think those softer boy names, Lennon, it's really nice. It's really cute. You might get Len, so be prepared. Do you like Len? Lenny is really sweet, I think, and that's kind of doing the rounds. Those sort of vintage nicknames as first names are all coming back in style, so it could be on with something with Lennon. And number 6, what's cute is this was I reposted some viewers' baby names, and Oscar Boo got a lot of love. So I would say Boo because this I'm sure is Scandinavian, so I wanted my firstborn son, who is Frederick, goes by Freddie or Fred now, he was going to be Oscar, spelled with a K like this. I absolutely love it. And then my middle son's middle name is Boo, which means home in Swedish, because my partner is Swedish. So Oscar Boo could have been in my family, but it was a beautiful viewer's baby boy name. It gets loads and loads of taps and likes. What do you think of spelling it with a K? I think it looks so nice. I think it is difficult, you have to always say with a K, but I think it's worth it. I actually do, even though I know it's a bugbear of teachers to have a unique spelling, but I just think it really adds it. Like, I love Casper with a K as well. And number 5 is the name Nixon. So I was quite surprised by that, Nixon. I think Nixie is a really cool nickname. We talked about Nixie meaning water sprite before, so that's really cool. Nixon just means Nick's son. Let's look it up. What did I write down? Oh yeah, Nixon. So if you do have a Nicholas in your family, or dad or something like that, that is a cool reason to use Nixon. Mostly sort of comes up as Richard Nixon, the president. But yeah, Nixon. Do you like it? What do you reckon of it? Ellis is at number 4. Again, a really on-trend name right now, baby Ellis. Everyone has an Ellis. And I think we loved Ellie for a girl for so long, didn't we? And the E names for boys, the number 1 name is actually an E name. Can you guess what it is? It's actually had 43,000 pins, the number 1 name. So it's really, really popular. It begins with an E. But this name is Ellis, is the 4th most popularly pinned name, so very high as well. Having its moment, really like it. I think it's gentle and soft for our boys, which is what we really like as well. But it sounds kind of vintage, doesn't it? And kind of grand. It means Lord is my God. So it's just quite a simple name meaning. At 3 is Arthur. That was the 3rd most pinned boy name, Arthur. I wonder if that's because of the meaning again, that it means bear. And maybe people didn't know that. It's like, oh, I quite like that. But also these vintage names, we're giving away one of the most popular themes for boys, which is vintage, but I'll give you some of those in a minute. Arthur, really storming up the charts. I absolutely love it. It's such a classic. Peaky Blinders made this really popular, and it's just back in fash, isn't it? Really back in fash, and I think it will stick around for certainly the next few years as well. Number 2, totally unique, and this is gender neutral, but I've put it on the boy list just because I wanted to share it with you, but it's the name Navy, as in the colour navy, like navy blue, or as in being a member of the Royal Navy. So I wonder why people are choosing it. Like my instant, I would always think colour, navy, and we all went a bit mad for that Hague blue, didn't we, for a while, like Pinterest did anyway, that sort of Barrow and Bull. So it's interesting, navy became really popular, and those sort of colour names like indigo, really popular, sage, really popular. Navy, I actually really, really like it. What do you reckon? And the number 1 name with the most pins for boys is the name Elio. Elio. So this, I've listened to a few pronunciation videos, so it's sort of a Spanish-Italian name, and obviously it sounds a little bit different, but in Brits we would say Elio, so isn't it lovely? It means sunshine, which I think is making it super popular. 43,000 people have pinned it, which means they're really, really liking it. And if all of those named their baby Leo, it would be like one of the top names in the UK at the moment. So we will see what happens with a Leo, and if it starts to rise like the sunrise. I like the fact that it means sun, because it would be your son. So I like that as well. I love the idea of using the nickname Sunny. Leo has been around and really popular, meaning lion, for so many years. I know a lot of little Leos. So Elio could be a way of changing it up, and it's funny with even Ellis I hear more often, but the O at the end is a bit like an Oliver alternative. Oliver being the number 1 name for so long, it's got the same sounds with the O, so I can understand why Elio is getting so much love over on Pinterest. Are you surprised, or did you think it would be up there that high, or are you gutted? I've given me a boy name. Sorry, I always get worried. And then the most popularly pinned kind of boards that I do, because most of them are boards, as you know, on Pinterest, such a Pinterester. The 2 second and third most popularly pinned were both, funny enough, from one video that I did on YouTube, which was vintage names from 1921, when we went into 2021. That's what I did there, which was really cool. So I went back to the 1920s list and had a look at the most popular names from 1921, and then picked my favourites from it, so those vintage classics. So I'll pop those pins on screen now, but we have things like Percy, which I love and is coming back a little bit. Hugh Graham, which is not coming back. It's totally unranked when it used to be so popular. There are a lot of Grahams as dads, and the name Lewis as well was on there. So really interesting that had so many clicks. People were really interested in seeing these vintage boy names. So maybe vintage, we do still like rare traditional names for our boys. We're a bit less daring than we are for the girls. The girls' version of this list is last week. And then Arthur, Frederick, Jack and Basil. Basil, I love that one, that's a bit more daring. So interestingly, those are getting a lot of pins. And the number one boy names list that's getting pinned is arty hipster names. Arty hipster. I reckon that's just because these guys are all quite trendy. You're kind of interested. It's interesting when I put older people next to the name, it gives it a different look, doesn't it, when you're thinking about a baby name. So Jericho, which we're obsessed with at the moment on the podcast, we went going crazy with the Jericho, meaning City of the Moon, Coco for a nickname for girls, or Jerry, whatever. We just really having a Jericho crush at the moment. I always do that, don't I? I get into one name for ages. But you guys liked it as well. It was the most pinned board. Franklin, Hopper and Miller. So that will be a list that I'd have done here, arty hipster boy names. You can have a look for it. I will try and pop it on the little end frame, but who knows? I'm so technologically terrible, that would be beyond me. Thank you so much for listening. I would absolutely love it if you've listened all the way through. You would hit subscribe. That really helps me out. I'd love to grow our community here, and if you are a subscriber, that means the world. Thank you so much for being here. You can get in touch with me lots of different ways. I'm constantly here putting out name ideas for you across all the platforms, so I would love your support, and do share it with a friend who is naming a baby. If you've got a pregnant friend, they will thank you forever for finding them the best baby name resource online. So I've made that a bit up, but you know. Gotta sell it, gotta be proud of your work. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye guys.